What's up, social media world? It's me, BP Ben Peters, coming at you with another video. Now, you might have heard by now, maybe you saw the thumbnail, maybe you saw my social media, I have changed brokers. Me and my team, Mission Real Estate Group, we have changed brokers, and I am here to tell you in this video the 4 reasons why I changed brokerages. My name is Ben Peters. I'm a real estate agent, real estate investor. I own 20 units of rental property here in Minnesota. So if you like this kind of content, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can see when these videos go live. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. I want to tell you why I left EXP Realty and went to Real Broker. All right, so there are 4 reasons why I left EXP Realty. I will label the reasons 1 through 4, give you a percentage of what it went into that decision, with number 4 being the highest reason of why I left EXP Realty. So let's start with number 1, the tech. I've been in EXP Realty since 2020. They have a great business model. I have nothing bad to say about EXP's business model, but when somebody showed me what Reason is Real Brokers CRM, but they also have a signature suite. They have a ability to create a financial plan out of it. It's really incredible, everything that you can do with Real Brokers Reason technology. On top of Real's technology, it makes it easy to see where you are at. While I was at EXP, one of the questions I constantly got from my agents, hey, how far am I from capping? Where do I look for that? EXP has access to it, but you kind of got to be a little bit techie. It's harder to understand. It's a little harder to read. What is great about Real, they have a desktop version of Reason and they have a mobile version of Reason. When you log in, the very first thing you see is, have I capped yet? Also, Real has the ability to do what they call Elite Agent. It's the same thing over at EXP, Icon Agent. It makes it really easy to understand, okay, how many more deals do I have to do in order to hit those milestones? And so that was another big reason within the technology. It's just easier to use, easier to understand. EXP, their technology is fine, but what I would describe EXP's technology as is bolt-on technology. So when you're at EXP, you get access to KV Core, you get access now to Canva Pro, you get access to SkySlope, and all those things are great technologies. But this is what I felt as a team leader. Everybody has access to that. If I, as a team leader, wanted to have access to SkySlope, whether I was my own broker or different broker, I could have access to that. If I wanted to have access to KV Core, I could pay for access to that. If I wanted access to pro teams in Canva, I could have access to that. And so I felt like EXP, while they provide technology, it's bolt-on technology that anybody could have access to. With Reason, only people at Real Broker have access to it. And so I truly believe that this really cool technology, they have an AI assistant that can help you fill out paperwork. They have an AI assistant that can help you go through checklists and everything like that. It is proprietary technology that only Real agents have access to. And so that was the number 1 reason why I wanted to go. And I would say that was probably about 10% of my decision making was Real technology. The second reason I switched is because Real doesn't have the connotation, as the kids would say, the ick, okay? And I would say this was about 20% of my reasoning behind switching. EXP definitely has what I would like to say a stigma within the real estate industry. When I would say, oh yeah, I'm a real estate agent here at EXP, people would be like, ooh, are you gonna try and recruit me? And EXP, just because it has the name of the recruiting brokerage, I would get turned down. People would be like, ooh, don't wanna get coffee with you, sorry. I'm really okay with the broker I'm at. Now, I would never call myself a recruiter, but EXP does have a revenue share aspect. I've got a team, I've recruited some people, but I just didn't like the stigma that came with EXP Realty. What I've realized in my small time at Real Broker, it doesn't have that MLM vibe. They are really big on culture here at Real Broker. And that was something that I really resonated with. One of the things that they do that EXP did not, in my experience at least, when somebody recruits you to Real Broker, they cannot offer you anything of value. There's tons of EXP agents out there. Oh yeah, you come join my EXP downline and you'll get the access to the mastermind, and I've got some courses that I've created that I sell for $3,000, but I'll give it to you for free, and blah blah blah, whatever. It can feel a little slimy, it can feel a little MLM-y, recruity. Real has nothing like that. Real actually has a part of their ICA agreement, hey, you cannot provide anything of value to anybody that you are trying to recruit. And so I think it takes some of that MLM vibe out. The pitch that was made to me at Real Broker is like, hey, look what we got here. We think we have some tools that can help make a difference, that can really help make you stand out compared to every other agent. But hey, if it works for you, great. If not, that's great too. Another reason it doesn't have that MLM vibe is because they offer what's called co-sponsorship. So in my time at EXP, I had my license since 2020, and I've just switched January 1 of 2025. So pretty much 4 years I was at EXP. Again, I would never call myself a recruiter, but I did have some conversations with some agents, and there were one particular agent who said, oh, Ben, like, this is really cool. I love EXP's model, but I really want to join a team that can provide me leads. I basically told him, I'm like, hey, my team, Mission Real Estate Group, we don't really provide leads, but I can teach you how to do a business and how to do it well, but we don't provide leads. That's just something we don't do. So he said, hey, I really want to join a team that would provide leads, but I want you to be my sponsor. 100%. I want you to be my sponsor. So I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Here's the name of a couple teams here at EXP. Well, met with one of the teams over at EXP, and they basically said, hey, if you do not mark our team lead as your sponsor, you will not have access to any of the team leads. You will not have access to this. You will not have access to this. It went through a whole thing. And then the team lead proceeded to badmouth me of why I would not be a good person to link up with. Like, oh yeah, you don't want him as your sponsor. And that severed the relationship. That agent never talked to me ever again. Now you can say, oh, that was petty. Oh, that was stupid. Whatever. I hated that ruined a relationship. What's really cool, if that exact situation would have happened at Real, I could have had that conversation. Hey, why don't you come join this team? And then Real gives the opportunity. Oh, hey, you want to be on that team? Why don't you do a co-sponsorship with that team lead? So that person comes in underneath me, comes in underneath the team lead. At EXP, they have what I would like to call silos. So while I was at EXP, it was, oh, you're a part of the Honey Badgers. Oh, you are a part of the Fast Forward movement. Oh, you are a part of, and it was like, if you're not one of us, you can't have access to it. I actually had a conversation with a team lead, a big team lead at EXP, and he's like, hey, I don't want there to be silos, man. Like, I would love it if you would change your sponsorship over to me. You would have access to all this, but hey, either way, let's just, help people, whatever. At the time, I changed my sponsorship to somebody else. That team lead never talked to me ever again, never reached out to me ever again. EXP agents like to say, oh, we're not siloed, like we've got a big community. Absolutely not. There's absolutely silos, at least in my experience, I found. And Real doesn't create those silos because of co-sponsorship. Oh, hey, you're a part of the group over here. Oh, you can also be a part of the group here. Why don't we co-sponsorship so that everybody gets a piece of the pie? That's one thing that really vibed with me that I liked a lot. The third reason I left EXP and went to Real, RevShare 2.0 kind of sucks. And I would say this was about 20% of my decision making. If you guys didn't know, in 2024, about halfway through 2024, EXP changed up their RevShare. They called it RevShare 2.0. Hey, we're gonna pool the money and then pay out based off the pools. Well, what happened to me? I'll actually show you. So I'm going to show you since I started collecting a RevShare check, which was in 2021, I'll show you how RevShare has changed in my organization. So in 2021, my first year, I made $10,000 in RevShare. Hey, RevShare is one of those things that slowly builds up. It's going to be better every month, all that kind of stuff. Well, then come 2022, here's 2022. Oh, I'm starting to make $1,700, $1,400, $2,800. I had a $4,600 month here. I made $32,000. It was great. 2022 was awesome. Well, then 2023 rolled around. 2023 is when interest rates started to go up. So a lot of agents started getting out of the business. Not as many transactions happened, that kind of thing. Went from $32,000 to $26,000. I made about $26,000 in rev share my third year in the business. Now 2024. So I believe it was July they started rev share 2.0. Okay. My best July ever was in 2023 of $5,200. That July, it was cut almost in half. And then you go on to August, September, October, November. So my rev share went down by, close to 30% once they instituted rev share 2.0. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of variables that go into rev share. The amount of transactions went down, or the volume went down, price points went down. So there's a lot that goes into it. But once I saw that my rev share was about half of what it used to be, to me, I was like, okay, when they went to rev share 2.0, it is not helping me. It is not making as much financial sense as it used to. Real Broker has a very straightforward, hey, if they're on the first line, you make so much. If they're on the second line, you make so much. Rev share 2.0 really convoluted it because they said, oh, hey, your first 3 levels, it goes into a pool. We pay based off the pool. And so it really clouded a lot of what I really liked about rev share. All right, so to recap, the first reason I left EXP was because of the tech, and Real had better tech. That was about 10% of the reason. Second was that MLM vibe that EXP had, Real Broker really doesn't have. That was about 20%. And then finally, rev share 2.0. I just don't think it's as lucrative as it used to be. And that's about another 20%. Well, obviously that leaves 50%. Hey, Ben, where's the other 50%? The fourth and final reason why I left EXP is because of the class action lawsuit that's happening against the company. Now, I'm not here to get into all the details, okay? I will share a little bit just from what I understand. And here's the thing. There's a whole court docket. There's a website that you can look and see the formal complaints. I'm not here to comment on that. I will put it in the link in the description just in case you do want to read about it, because I do think if you're an EXP agent watching this right now, you need to be informed on what's happening with that company. Long story short, there were 2 higher up agents, real big time recruiters, that were allegedly drugging various females throughout the company, roofie, actual drugs, all this kind of stuff, and then assaulting them. The reports start in 2018. That's when the first complaints were lodged. Okay, so 2018. I ended up joining in 2020, and so I didn't know anything about this. The first complaints happened in 2018. Hey, these big time recruiters, people who are bringing a ton of money into EXP, hey, this is happening. EXP doesn't do anything until in 2023, a class action lawsuit gets filed against the company. And then EXP immediately terminates these guys. To me, that is quite damning evidence, really. If a complaint comes up in 2018 and you don't do anything about it till 2023, well, and then this is, I think, the other thing about it. I'm a big fan, innocent until proven guilty, but at least open up an investigation. Hey, find out what's happening. I learned about this halfway through 2024, about these allegations and stuff like that. And again, innocent until proven guilty. But the more and more I read these court records, the more and more I read about what's going on, what happened to these women, and how EXP dealt with it. It just didn't sit well with me. And so I made the decision middle of December to, hey, I'm going to switch brokers. And this is about 50% of the reason why I left EXP, because I was having a hard time sleeping at night, to be totally honest. Now, I'm not here to shame anybody. Like I said, I think EXP has an amazing business model. The fact that they were the first cloud-based brokerage, all that kind of stuff, like EXP is a great business model. But when it comes to the culture, when it comes to the higher ups and the decision making, it's just not the best. And so that was another huge reason, about 50% of the reason why I left EXP. When I made that decision, I filled out the paperwork, I filled out the online application, came on over. my resting heart rate went down by 10 beats a minute. And I got this notification on my watch, like, oh my gosh, like, why is my heart rate going down by 10 beats a minute? And they say when you remove stress from your life, your resting heart rate can go down. And so I didn't realize, yes, I thought it was affecting me, but I was like, okay, I'm going to keep doing my business, blah, 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 whatever. This was affecting me a lot more than I thought. And so I decided I've got to make a change here. And I've been at Real Broker for a little over a month now. I'm absolutely loving it. It's great. It's awesome. So again, those are the 4 reasons why I left EXP. Now, if you're watching this and you are an EXP agent and you're like, oh man, that sounds pretty cool. Hey, I'd love to have a conversation. All my contact information is in the description of this video. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Again, I don't fault anybody for being at EXP. I think EXP is a great business model, but I think the company is definitely hitting some growing pains. Unfortunately, that was at the expense of some people. For me, Real has been great. It's been amazing. The culture is great. The tech is great. My team is loving it. And everything like that. So if you want any more details, feel free to contact me. But more importantly, again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I will see you guys on the next one.